to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The meeting is now open to the public. Make sure that door is not locked in case someone's late. I don't mind.
Doesn't appear to be, but.
It'll be up.
Yeah, the thing's out.
It's out.
You're all right, you're all right.
You're fine.
Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Public comment time. Please stand, say your name.
No.
Oh, you want to pass those out first?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is to recognize 4 people that do beautification on the village. This one is for Mary Rasco and Penny Trickett for many years of outstanding service and dedication to the Russell Point Beautification Committee, given the day of January 6th of December.
We clap?
And also have 2 more. One is for Kate Pepin and Nancy Baker for 25 years of outstanding service and dedication to the Russell Point Beautification Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You don't have to stay for the meeting if you don't wanna. You can leave.
Thank you for recognizing us. And we
Thank you for
couldn't
all
do
your
it,
hard
we
work.
couldn't do it without the help of the village people. We're all getting a little older, maybe a lot older. And, you know, they pick up after when we pull the plants, they bring the soil to us, and
Yep.
we appreciate everything they do. Otherwise, you know, we couldn't do it.
Well, we wouldn't have nothing if you ladies didn't do it either.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the Have a good meeting.
We hope so.
Thank you very much, lady.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
That's all I have.
Okay. Back to open public session. Public comments. You. Yep. Stand up, say your name.
Hi, Heidi Danis. We own the building on Main Street or Lake Street, 104/106 Lake Street, the one that's painted yellow. And we've been trying to change the front of the building, and we got a work permit, and then a stop work order was placed. We're trying to change out the windows, so it's insulated. We have 3 apartments up at the top. The pipes are freezing. There's no walls or insulation in there. It's just, we bought it a long, long time ago. No storefront, it's just open plumbing, and we're trying to button it up. We got half of it done, and then a work stop order came through. So then we started to try to investigate how this came about. We had 2 visits to the the planning board, and they kind of hinted that we needed a variance, and we dispute that we need a variance when we're changing out windows. So we decided to come here to try to find out how it all got started with the work stop order, because we didn't really get that much information that was helpful at the 2 meetings that we had. Today we were able to find the YouTube meeting of your September 7th, and lo and behold, found out exactly how things got started, which quite frankly was very disappointing to hear what was said on that tape. We wish that we would have been present to say our piece and move forward with our desire to change the building. We feel we are not in any code violation. We agreed with John Cooper. He's clearly on the tape saying that we're not in violation of a code. We read through the requirements, and we feel that the windows are under your guidelines, that they should perhaps reflect things but don't have to. It's a recommendation. We intend on putting 2 office spaces behind those windows, and we want to move forward with changing the building in a positive way for the community. So we're here to appeal to you that we would like our work permit back in place. It's not a variance, and here we are. We've been back and forth and really manipulated, I think is a good word, for a good 3 months. And we decided to come here to find out, how did this all get started? If it weren't for that meeting that we watched today, it certainly wasn't disclosed to us in the 2 meetings that we had with the planning board. So it's good that it's there. So we're here to kind of appeal to you that we just want to fix it and continue where we were. And according to the work stop order, I think it's E2C, that the windows should be a certain way. Well, your key word is should by your own definitions. It's a recommendation, it's not a standard. We feel that the office space fits the other definition of E, maybe 1 or A1, that it's transparent, and with the office space, it fits that it doesn't have to adhere to 50% of the first floor facade, and we just want to move forward.
You're not the only person to have replaced windows in downtown. Another building just down the street from you also replaced their windows, and they were forced to put in like with like, basically. They had slightly smaller windows, but there were still big open commercial windows that reflected the past use of that space. It's the zoning. It's not really the place of this board to make that decision to make smaller windows in there. It should have originally gone to the zoning board to begin with, the planning and zoning, because we made them put in the correct size windows, and you're asking to put smaller windows in for the same space, but you want to convert the space to office.
The difference is we were already granted a permit. If we were told that we had to have a certain size window, we simply would have left the building intact. We don't get any money off the first floor. We bought the building dilapidated, like we bought 3 other buildings in this town, well, 3 total, dilapidated, and we fixed them up. We've improved them. We went to the code enforcement officer. We said, look, we'll fix the front of the building, but I can't really, I mean, you look at everybody else who's put in storefronts, nobody's renting that space. I'm just losing money on it, but I'll do it to make it nice and make your downtown look pretty and to button up my building. But if he'd have said, no, I need this size or that size, I'd have just left it, because he'd asked me to before. And I said, no, I'm not getting any money off that floor. I only make money on the 2nd floor. I'll put in nice windows, I'll side it, I'll open it up 20 feet back so that if somebody wants it for an office space, great. But, you know, I'm not going to invest $15,000 into a building I can't get any money back out of. Especially, like I said, if he'd have said no, the answer would have been no. We wouldn't have a problem. I got a permit. I went out, I purchased siding, lumber, windows, insulation, contracted labor, started my project. And halfway through, somebody had a change of heart. And right now, as has been explained to some of your other people here, our next step forward is in legal action, which we feel fairly confident that we will win. You guys have 2 choices. You can get the building fixed up nice, that won't cost you anything, to look good, or you can leave it the way it's sitting at least until it goes to court, in which case we'll find out who wins and who loses, but it's going to cost you to go to court, and if you lose, it's going to cost you even more.
And I think also to reinforce that according to the work stop order, it's not even a viable stop work order because it's a guideline. You wrote down a guideline. That's not a violation. That's not a code violation. It says clearly in your own documents for a building permit that in order for it to be revoked or suspended, it has to violate the uniform code or energy code. So what's that? Because somebody doesn't like the windows? It's not a viable stop work order. Has no merit according to our opinions. Doesn't fit anything that would justify a variance. We just want to finish what we're doing halfway through it. So now we're damaged that amount of money.
Excess of $13,000 to be exact.
This is our attorney, and we are filing, what is it?
It would be a notice of claim.
We'll be giving you a notice of claim this evening, and we'll be filing in Superior Court.
So we're here to find a way to continue what we're doing, Because the size of the windows is not a code violation by your own documents.
It's also not unlike what's done on both sides of the street, all around it. You may have had a new guy next door to me put in bigger windows. You may even have had one across the street. But you got 6 or 7 others that have not. Me, twice.
Yeah.
Twice I put in the same exact windows, one right across the street, one right next to me, same exact windows. Previous code enforcement officer, but, you know, you can't change the rules midstream.
We own 9395 Lake Street. We changed out a broken window on 104, 105, or excuse me, 104, 106 Lake Street. No problem there. No permit to change out the window, smaller. No variance in our other building. So
I
that's
don't
why
know
we're
the
here.
particularities about the other building, because that was 2012, well before I was here. And I have photos of that building prior, which was all commercial storefront, and that was all changed.
It used to be a dance studio.
I think that should have required a variance back then, but
Well, a variance is use of the building. What did we
Or
change
it's a-
the
or it's
use
a
of?
dimension- Or it could be a dimensional requirement, it could be an area variance as compared to a use variance.
And that includes windows?
It
Where-
could,
where-
it could include any type of, it could be a sign, it could be anything. It's a variance, it's a dimensional variance from what's required in the zoning ordinance.
Right, by
That would
use,
be an area variance.
by use of the property.
Well, use variance is different than an area variance.
But they all have the terminology by use. They all start by use.
Use is a different category, and the use variance is much harder to get, more difficult to get than an area variance.
Well, what I'm referring to is the definition of all those that you just referred to. It's all the use of the land of the property, and then they go into the dimensional or physical requirements. But they all start with the main part of the sentence. It's the use of the land and the use of the property, then dimensional and physical.
We haven't changed the use of any of the buildings we've purchased here.
Right.
What we have done is put them back on the tax rolls and fix them up, and maybe not as fast or as nice as you guys would like, but, you know, they weren't dilapidated there for a reason. I didn't buy them at auction if they were well kept up.
So we're looking, since it started here, that permit is back in play. Because we feel, again, the stop work order shouldn't have happened at all, because there's no violation, according to your own documents. Thank you. You want to say anything?
anybody else? Okay. Minutes for November 15th.
I make a motion to be accepted as read, or printed.
Any questions first?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills, any questions about the bills?
May we interrupt for 1 second, one question?
If-
Go
go ahead.
ahead. No?
If we did get the work permit back, would we be getting it back today, or would that take time to get back? Just curious. If we did.
I didn't hear. Could you repeat?
Just, if we did get the work permit back, just if we did get the work permit back, like, what would be the time frame for getting it back? Just if.
Well, I would suggest that one of the board members make a motion when it comes to talking about your individual agenda items, that we have an executive session on this particular issue, so we have a discussion about it.
Is this an executive session thing that we can do?
Any litigation, I think, yes. Potential litigation, I'd say yes.
Okay.
And when would we hear back?
Oh, could they be here for that, or?
No.
No, okay.
Depending what the outcome of the discussion is, I could send your attorney a letter probably the next day or so, depending what the outcome of this, whatever discussion would be on that issue.
So your executive session is today,
Yes.
tonight?
It would be tonight. If a
Okay.
board member makes a motion to have an executive session, it would be tonight.
Thank you.
Again, Again, you can't be here for it, but it's just an
Correct.
executive session
Yep.
because it's potential litigation.
Okay, any questions about the bills, any additions?
One addition this evening, it's Super Shoe Stores, macro retail, the amount of $129.90 for a pair of safety shoes.
Make a motion, the bill to be paid.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any correspondence today?
I do, Mr. Mayor. So, the first thing that I wanted to bring to the board's attention as far as a local law to be adopted for cannabis law 131, which would be opting out of licensing and establishing retail cannabis dispensaries on and or on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the village. This is something that New York State came out and is offering all municipalities. This is a decision that the municipality needs to make prior to December 31st. Failure to make that decision would result in an automatic opt-in. So you would automatically be a municipality that would allow dispensaries and cannabis consumption establishments. What I've done is I have a local law that I've drawn up for this, and I'm going to present it to the board so that you can review it. And then what we can do is we can discuss it if we go into executive session a little bit further into detail as far as that. And the other thing that I have is, and we may want to discuss this in executive session, it's as far as the new position duties for a municipal employee that I drew up, and I sent it over to the Clinton County Department of Civil Service. They have approved this position, and what it would be a dual certificate, a new position for somebody that has dual certifications for water and wastewater treatment plant operator. Because currently, as some of you may already know, we currently have an employee that does have the dual certifications, and we have another employee that is in the process of getting the dual certifications. With that being said, I feel that this is a new position classification that we need to add on and have it approved through the union contract to CSEA and establish as far as what the pay scales would be. I can provide you with copies of everything that was submitted to the county over to civil service. They approved everything I did. It's just lacking a signature for approval, which would be from the mayor. So if nobody objects, can I approach and give this to the mayor? And you can review it.
Come up here and drop stuff off.
So this is for the new. Renee, this is for the. So it would become a local law number 2 of 2021. And I'm sorry I didn't have this in your packets, but I didn't learn about it until later. A lot of municipalities started this process some time ago, but with the lack of a clerk administrator for a period of time, it may have been the reason why it's a little late. That's all that I have, Mayor.
Okay. For this thing here, the new position duty statement, what do we need to do for this?
I have everything done with Clinton County Department of
Okay.
Civil Service, and all that it would require would be your signature to get the position approved. Once we get it approved, then what we're gonna have to do is establish, we're gonna have to go through our attorney's office and through Emmy to get it set on the union contract as far as what the prevailing wages are gonna be for that position. But this is the first step that we need to go forward with before we can make go in the other direction,
Right, so it'd be just really a resolution.
right?
It's like a motion.
Yes.
Okay. I make a motion that I sign this new position.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
far as for the local law number 2, what we're gonna have to do is, we'd have to set this up for a public hearing, so we're really running out of time. I would have to advertise it. We would have to have the public hearing scheduled for the next board meeting, which will be the 20th. And you can do the public hearing, and then what you can do is decide whether you want to adopt this policy or not. And if you do decide to move forward with it, we're also going to have to do a referendum on this as well, based upon New York State requirements.
Now we're gonna need a motion to publicize and hold the hearing. So
You would have to do that, yes.
I would make a motion to have the administrator advertise for the local law number 2.
I'll second it.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm not particularly in favor of outright banning this stuff. Because
No,
if
But
there
that's
is
what
a.
we
no,
discussed
it gives you time to
It
study.
gives us time,
It gives
yeah.
you time to study it. You opt out of having to do something in place before
Right.
the first of the year. Gives you time to study it. And frankly, most
we have to
municipalities have
have-
all opted out, which is what's being proposed here.
And we get the feel of what the public wants also.
Absolutely,
That's why we have a public hearing.
What's being proposed is what most municipalities are doing, because they just want time to study.
Right.
That's all I have, thank you.
I'm just gonna say no on this one.
Well, you need to wait for the public hearing, and then.
Yeah, I know, my vote is no, but the public hearing is gonna go through because it's 3 to 1. I'm just making my feelings known that I think this could be a tax benefit to us because we get money from it if there's one in the village.
But, and again, it's not saying you're not gonna do it, just that
Right.
you got to
Right.
have it done for the first of the year.
Is that all the correspondence?
Yes, sir.
I don't have anything on my agenda. Trustee Arno? You
Uh,
wait on the certificates.
Yes, had them. I'd like to make a motion to have an executive session on Lake Street building.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to thank the guys, the street department, electric department for nice decorations in the village. They all look really nice. Did we ever hear any more about the street light for Mr. Bernard?
Oh, no, I still haven't heard anything. I sent emails off to, I don't remember her name, my laptop's over there. I sent an email off to her on the 1st of November, then a follow-up email, both of them were just kicked back automatics. So I've been sending about an email once a month.
Find out again, yeah. And also I have a quote for the window or windows. I'm pretty sure there's 2 up there in the library. They're all rotted at the bottom of the sill and there's big holes in the bottom of the sill. And windows are $239 each. So if you wanna do 1 or 2, it all depends. But we do definitely have to change 1. The other one is rotted, but not as bad as the one of them.
So looking about $478 for both.
Yeah.
Is that in, we probably got that in maintenance budget, right, Arson? Or
Come out of the library.
kind of a library one?
Are we installing them or is somebody else installing them?
Well, I think we ought to install them. Somebody, I'm sure Heath can install them.
I'm sure our Public Works Department can do it. I'll make a motion to look into replacing those windows pending what's available in the budget. If we can do both, we do both. If we do one, we do one.
Well, eventually, we're all gonna have to do them all.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, because there's 3, 6, 9 of them all
9
together.
windows in total.
Yeah,
If we do 2 a year, we won't have to pay them all at once.
yeah.
Any seconds for the motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
are you gonna make an executive session for, what we talked about that, no? No?
I'm not picking that hill. If someone wants to pick that hill, they can, I'm not.
I'll make an executive session to, on, a motion for, talk about ERS.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Menard?
The only thing I have is, I would like to state the same as Mr. Arnold, is thank the people, the village looks great with all the decorations, thank all our employees, everything looks great. I wanna thank everybody here at the rec center, everything seems to be going really well with the ice skating and the hockey, and that's all I have for this evening.
Trustee Pelkey?
Just a reminder that the Santa Speedo Run is on December 11th. Starts at latitude 45. Registration is at 11 a.m. The race is at noon. This is for the 4th of July committee to make some money so we can put on the 4th of July works that we do. There's posters out there, so it is called the Speedo Run, but you can just participate any way that you want to. You can participate in a Santa Claus uniform or jogging pants, whatever you want. I mean, it's just because they call it a Speedo Run, it's supposed to be a day of fun. The second thing I have is the fire department is going to be bringing Santa Claus around throughout the village on December 18th. Starts at noon to 3. We will bring Santa Claus up and down the streets. We're going door to door. Because of the COVID, we can't be inside of a fire station giving out candy or cookies and, milk in a confined space. So we decided that the fire department, the members are going to help Santa Claus go around, and we're going to greet everybody at their door throughout the village. Then on December 19th, the day after, we're gonna have the Parade of Lights again. Starts at 6 o'clock at night. Starts down at the boat launch, like it did last year. For additional information, you can contact Mike LeBlanc. He's the one that's pretty much setting it up. He's lining it up, so if you want to participate, you can just show up. I'm sure he'll put you in the lineup. It's a very uplifting event that I think helps a lot of the residents in this village. Because of the confines of COVID and everything else, it brings a little joy to the children and even to the older people. And again, everybody knows that I'm a big decorator, and it's nice to see that the whole village is really getting into the Christmas spirit. As I go around up and down the streets, I see more and more people are decorating, and we need to have something to bring some positivity, I think, to this time that we have. That's all I have. Thank you.
I have one other thing. Seeing that the border's open, you think we could call up and they could deliver our clock?
Actually, Chris talked about that today.
We're working on
Are you working on it?
that. Yeah. We should have it next week.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to get all the details in line before we make a full commitment. But we tried this week, but next week definitely.
Oh, okay. That's all I
I've
have.
been trying to get that for a while. Trustee Rodriguez is not here. Any other reports?
You were, at the last board meeting, you were talking about the septic charges being dropped off. I just want to let you know that we have billed $25,802 so far to date for the septic dropped off over the sewer plant.
Very good.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
What does that go into the budget, out of curiosity? Is it just going to,
What's that?
does it just go into general fund?
No, it goes into the wastewater.
It goes into the wastewater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, too, I'd like to remind the mayor that you need to appoint Chris, the registrar and the clerk of the zoning board, that hasn't been done yet.
I thought that happened when I filled into, appointed into the clerk position for the remainder of Susan's term.
No, these are two separate positions.
Oh. Okay, I appoint you to those two clerk positions. I thought it was all the same thing.
They're separate positions.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Especially in the eyes of the state.
Okay, is that all the other reports? Anything, Cooper?
No, we're going to have an executive session afterwards.
Okay. Anything else, Latrimore?
The only other thing that comes to mind is I had a request from a resident, and what she would want to run by the board would be a designated Christmas tree, or let's say a pine tree in the village, where you would put an ornament and you could come and take an ornament or leave an ornament. The only stipulation that I told her that I could think of is that it would have to be a non-breakable ornament. So if somebody could go to the tree, take an ornament if they wanted one, or they could leave one if they chose to do it. She said she would be in charge of advertising it and maintaining it to make sure that everything is being taken care of accordingly. I don't know if the board's willing to do that. And the other thing is, Ann over at the library had a suggestion, because some of the other municipalities are doing this, would be to have a quarterly letter going out to the residents as far as what's going on in the village. It's something I believe that she would undertake herself. So every department would send her a letter, and she would format a letter and send it out to the residents. I know that's something that the village is interested in doing, but it was a suggestion that Ann brought to my attention.
Like that. If every department's doing it, though, we should probably talk all the department heads first if they want to take the extra responsibility on or not. Because they may not have the time to do so.
It would just be like a quick update. It doesn't have to be, you know,
Yeah.
What's the feeling on the tree for the ornaments, so I can call Sharon tomorrow?
I like that. It definitely have to be non-breakable ornaments, because the last thing we need is those glass ball ornaments breaking somewhere, going through someone's foot or hand.
What tree would you use?
Yeah,
The one by the village office or some other tree?
would she do a tree in like Rouse Park, or where?
She said she wanted to do one by the fountain.
Rouse Park,
That's real
Rouse
smart.
Park, yeah. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's
Do
good.
you need that in the form of a motion or just agreeable?
Just agreeable, and then she'll take the reins from there, but.
I'll make it a motion just to make it more official.
Okay.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the newsletter, I like that idea. I think it's a good idea, but let's just check with the department heads first.
Absolutely. And I'll have Ann provide some more detail as far as what she would
What
want.
she was thinking.
Okay. Is that all the reports?
That's all I have, thank you.
Any public comments?
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to mention to you that I had 2 phone calls today of people discussing with me incidences of people testing COVID in the village and also in a local church. So I just wanted to say that I'm very supportive of the idea that masks are required in this building and the library, and to underline that it's probably important to keep some vigilance. There are cases around us.
With the new version, it's.
I do not know which version these people have been affected with, but I know of 2 people in the village that have been affected by COVID. At least one of them fully vaccinated and nevertheless came down with it, and this is how things get spread. And I just wanted to mention that if somebody comes to you and says, let's drop masks, don't do it.
news tonight, it said apparently in Clinton County over the weekend, it was 129 cases.
149, I believe.
147, yes, it was like 147.
Yeah, it was almost
Yeah, it's a lot.
150.
Yeah. It's not getting any better.
No. But we still have a mask mandate from the Clinton County Health Department.
It's mostly, we're just following Clinton County standards, really.
Right, but I'm sure there's a certain amount of pushback or comments or whatever, so.
There has been.
And when we hear Clinton County, we don't necessarily think Rouses Point, but it's Rouses Point as well.
And the way that it stands right now is Clinton County makes recommendations, but each municipality can go above and beyond the recommendations by the county.
Right.
So that the county's leaving it to each municipality's own discretion as far as what they want to do for mask requirements or any other requirements.
Any other public comment?
Make a motion, we go into recess?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Oops, and we're gonna interrupt it.